Okay, we about to get into it because do I have some stuff to share with you for my quarter one recap. So let me go and drink some water because I'm going to be talking a little bit. Let me get comfortable. Got my little blanket on me so I could be comfortable, but I'm super excited to share this video because I have not done one of these before, and this is something that I definitely plan on doing on my channel. Of course, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Lashawnda Smith, and I am a content creator and business coach, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my quarter one recap for my business, personal goals, just all of the things. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to be able to document my milestones in my business because this is a really big year for me. I am claiming that this is the year that it's going to give what it's supposed to give. I'm really excited about what is to come in this year. I have a lot of big plans for this year. And so I wanted to create milestones for this because one thing that I know about myself, and I'm working on this now, I'm doing a lot better, especially now that these videos are going to be holding me accountable. But I will plan or I will create yearly goals and then never look at them again. And I know I'm not the only one that does this. I'm not the only one that does this, but for some reason, they're out of sight, out of mind. And for the most part, some of them, I can't remember what the goals are, but I would like a better way to stay on track. I want you guys to be on the journey with me. So when I am hitting these major milestones in my business or in my personal life, you guys can feel a part like, oh my God, I remember when she was starting from the bottom, now she's here. Okay, so let's just hop right on into it. Now, granted, at the very beginning of the year, my goal was to create an initial video of what my goals are. And so right after this video, I'm going to be recording a quarter two goal setting, business goal setting type video. So that way, whenever I wrap up quarter two, you'll have a video specifically on what I'm shooting for. And then the wrap up video at the end of the quarter will be like, this is what I accomplished. This is what we still working on over here. That's what it's going to be. So I don't have that for this quarter. So we're just going to start off with this one. So what were my quarter one goals? I wrote down what my top goals were for quarter one. And then I'm going to go over like if I hit those goals, what I did accomplish and things like that. So the very first goal for quarter one was to hit 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And as you can see, I ain't hit that. I didn't hit the 1,000 subscribers, but honestly, I'm not disappointed. I don't feel any type of way about it because I'm still going to push hard on YouTube, and I'm believing that within the next month or so, I am going to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. At the recording of this video, I want to say that my subscriber count is at 177 subscribers. So I have quite a few subscribers to get, but I know the power of YouTube. I also have a couples channel with my fiance Michael, and we hit 1,000 subscribers within the first month of us being on YouTube. We happen to have 2 videos that just took off, which were our first 2 videos. So I know that it can happen from one video, and that's why I'm being very optimistic about hitting 1,000 subscribers within the next month or so, even though I did not hit it in quarter one. Also, another thing that prevented me from, I feel, hitting 1,000 subscribers is because I had the momentum going. I was like, I want to post as much content as possible. So if you guys have been already subscribed, you will see that in January and February, I was posting like back-to-back content. I was posting like Monday through Friday type content because I was trying to see what is my content cap? Like how many videos can I put out before it's just like, okay, I can't get any more out. So I realized that my cap is 8 videos. In order for me to run everything else in reference to my business, my podcast, shameless plug. If you are not subscribed to my podcast, I will link it in the icon. I think it's on this side, but I will link it so that you can check that out. But for the most part, I realized that I capped out at 8 videos. And so now I know to post 2 videos a week until I get monetized, and then I may like switch it up just depending on how everything is going on the back end of my business. But for the most part, I can't do no more than 8, y'all. I was trying to push to at least 10 or 12, but it's just not realistic right now because I don't have help. It's just me kind of doing it. and Michael was kind of helping me edit my videos, and then I don't know what happened with that, but you know, in order for me to get it done, 8 is the number. And then I wasn't able to post in March because I guess because I hit my cap, I had to catch up on every other area while my video content had already went out. So I didn't get a chance to record my videos, to be able to even go out in March, and that was a whole situation. But I'm back on track now. That's all that's important. I'm back on track now. I'm gonna be showing up regardless. And now I know to just spread my videos out so that way you guys will not be able to know when I'm not recording content, because I'm gonna be having content in the bank. But anyways, my next goal was to get monetized on YouTube. And obviously if I did not hit 1,000 subscribers, I have not been able to get monetized yet. So those 2 goals that I had for Q1, I did not hit those goals, but I am still banking on, or I am still believing that my channel will be monetized within the next few months. So I'm not really like tripping on that, but that was also a Q1 goal. The third goal that I had for Q1 was to launch season 2 of my podcast, the First Year Business Podcast. And I can say that I was able to check that off. That was also another reason why I was not able to record YouTube content, because I was trying to get my podcast up and running. I had a podcast guest, or I had a podcast interview that I had to do, and I knew that that was going to be pushed out in March. So I had to have my podcast ready and have new content available on there, because they were going to be linking people to that. And I actually did a vlog with that in there. I don't know if I've posted it yet, but yes, I was able to launch season 2 of my podcast. I'm super, super excited because I was able to create a new podcast cover, and I will drop what the old cover was here. And then I updated it to this cover for season 2. And that was a really big launch for me, because for one, I am helping people behind the scenes with launching their podcast for their business. And so I wanted to make sure that I did kind of like not a rebranding, but just you know, I gotta zhuzh it up a little bit, because when I first started my podcast, I was really targeting all business owners. I'm like, if you're a new business owner, come and listen to this podcast. But now I have kind of narrowed it down a little bit more to where now I'm focusing on new business owners who are specifically coaches, course creators, you know, content creators, or like service professionals. So not necessarily targeting people who are selling physical products, or not even like necessarily service-based business owners. It just really depends. Essentially, I'm trying to create my podcast specifically for people who are selling information. Like if you're providing some type of information, if your business is a lot of educating your audience, that's the type of content that I'm going to be creating in the First Year Business Podcast to kind of help you grow your business in that area. The next goal that I had was to get 500 email subscribers on my email list. The email is hard. And it's not even like getting subscribers on the list is hard. That's not the hard part. For me, I don't have the motivation to get people on my email list, because once they sign up for the thing, I don't tend to email, like I don't have that email part of my marketing together. And so that is definitely something that I want to work on in Q2, like just being consistent with actually emailing my email subscribers. And so I kind of slowed down on hitting that, because I didn't want to get 500 people on my email list and then they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like they lose the connection because I don't follow up through the emails. So now I have email sequences that I have been able to put into play throughout first quarter, so that when people do sign up, I at least have like an initial email sequence that they will go through. And then also just preparing for like my weekly newsletter or whatever it is that I come up with that will go out once every week for the entire email list. So now that I went over my goals for Q1, and I had more, but those were like the most important ones that I wanted to share. Now I'm going to go over some things that I accomplished in Q1, because we all know as business owners, it may be some things that were not goals for that quarter that you still got to accomplish, and you need to give yourself, you need to give yourself your flowers while you are in it, because we need to reward ourselves and, allow ourselves to enjoy our accomplishments. So the very first thing that I want to share is that I did my first speaking engagement. And you guys see that I posted a vlog on there of me doing my speaking engagement. And when I tell you, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed doing my speaking engagement. That made me want to put that in my marketing for the remainder of this year. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. I was nervous the day before, and I was kind of nervous, but more so excited the day of, because I knew it was something that I was meant to step into, and it was just almost like you need to just get this out of your system, you know, check this box so that you can say that you did it, and you can start working on becoming better in this area and booking more gigs for the future. So I am so proud of myself for being able to do that, because not everybody can not only get on a stage, and I wasn't necessarily on a stage, but I consider it a stage because I was in front of all them people. And I want to say it was about 75 to 100 people that I spoke in front of. So yeah, not only was I able to get on the stage, but I was able to be myself. I was very proud of my speaking. I was very proud of the delivery. The only thing that I said that I will adjust in the future is I kept saying, okay. And you'll notice that on my videos too. I say that a lot, and that's really like my signature. Like that's just what I say. But I noticed that I think I was saying it a little more than normal out of nervousness. And so in the future, I just want to make sure that I'm mindful of how often I'm saying certain things. But other than that, I felt like it was perfect. Another thing that I was able to accomplish this quarter was officially launching my podcast challenge. So I know that you heard me mention earlier that behind the scenes, I have been helping people start their podcast for their business. So another shameless plug, okay? If you are a business owner or someone who is interested in creating a podcast for their business, I have the perfect thing for you. I have started a 30-day Start the Dang Podcast Challenge to put a little bit of fire up under you and get you officially launched with your podcast within the next 30 days. So if that is something that you're interested in, all you have to do is look in the description box of this video. I have the link available for you. I may even put it as a comment in the comment section and pin it to the top. Get enrolled in that. The great thing about that is it is for 4 weeks, and every week I'm gonna give you a different area to work on in your podcast. And by the end of the challenge, if you do the work for each week, you will have a launch podcast, and it will be available on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, all of the major platforms. So like I said, make sure that you click the link in the description and you'll get more information in reference to that. But I'm super proud of myself because I was able to officially launch that. And that was really important for me to do, because I was taking one-on-one clients behind the scenes in quarter one, just to make sure that I could get the flow of how to get someone else's podcast launched, because I launched my own podcast, and then I was also able to help my fiance launch his podcast. But I was very curious, like, okay, can I help someone brand new launch their podcast? You know, because it was a lot easier for me to do my spouse's, because he's my spouse. You know what I'm saying? We live in the same house, so it's a lot easier and accessible for me to do that versus someone like via Zoom or something. So once I realized, like, okay, this strategy and this structure is very successful, I'm getting people launched in the background of their podcast, and I've gone through the system, I wanted to create a digital product for that specifically. And so I'm so proud that I was able to launch that. Another thing that I've done in quarter one is start a 90-day challenge with my friend Courage Melina. She came up with the idea that we needed to stick to one thing for 90 days. And this is something that I really struggle with, because I naturally like to bounce from thing to thing. So I have so many different things that I like to help people with. And so sticking to one offer for 90 days was like, whew. So I'm just now at the beginning stages. We started in March, and my product was gonna be like a social club, a membership. And I was like, girl, no, I just cannot show up for no social club or no membership every single month or every single week or whatever. The plans that I had, I was like, this ain't it. I'm just not ready for that. And so I ended up scratching that, and I came up with the podcast challenge because I was already helping people in that area anyway. And so that's what my 90-day offer is during this challenge. And so the challenge started in March, and it ends March, April, May. You'll probably get a recap in reference to how the challenge did. Our goal is to get 100 people signed up for whatever it is that our offer is. And so obviously my goal is to get 100 people signed up for the podcast challenge. Now, if I get a little more, I'm gonna be happy, because there's no cap on how many people can join this podcast challenge, but the goal is to get 100 people. Another thing that I was able to accomplish in Q1 was batch recording all of my content for the podcast. So that way, once I did launch, I had content for the entire next month. Now, I do got to batch record some more content because that month went by fast. It went by really fast. And so after this video, I'll actually be batch recording a couple of episodes for my podcast. But I'm proud because it really allowed me to not have to worry about my podcast for like the next 4 weeks. And that's exactly how I want it to be. Now, I don't necessarily want to batch record too much, because what happens is you end up kind of being disconnected from the content that's going out if you record too many videos or too many episodes. So I feel like doing them a month at a time is like perfect for me. So that way, if it is something that pops up that I want to share within that time frame, I could just kind of put that in real quick, and I don't have to worry about, oh, well, I've created content for the next 4 months. And I kind of mentioned this accomplishment already, but another thing that I was able to accomplish in Q1 was I was able to be a guest on someone else's podcast. That was giving what I wanted it to give. I really enjoy being interviewed on someone else's podcast because it's just like a conversation. I was able to learn a little bit more about myself while I was talking in the interview, and it was just a really great experience. So that is something that I definitely plan on doing more of as well. I will say that it feels like this quarter, it had a lot to do with speaking. Like I did my speaking engagement, and I want to say right before I did my speaking engagement, I did the podcast interview. And so just really getting out of the element of my own content and contributing to other people's businesses with my expertise and my knowledge, that was fun. And I want to do some more of that. Another thing that I was able to accomplish in Q1 was posting a total of 25 videos on my YouTube channel. Now, granted, this is not a new YouTube channel, but I did take a back seat at one point because I just don't be consistent with YouTube for some reason. Now, it's gonna be different this year because I have like my goal, I'm manifesting, like I'm working towards a specific thing this year. But I had started my channel, I wanna say a couple years ago, maybe like 2021. And then I kind of like just fell off because life and business, like trying to juggle a YouTube channel on business and life is just, and homeschooling, you know, it is what it is. But I was able to get 25 videos out within 3 months. And so I'm really, really proud of that because it wasn't too shy of what my goal was. And I didn't really have a number goal for Q1 in reference to how many videos I wanted to post, but I just wanted to post as many videos as I could. And that was as many as I could, and I'm happy with that. And the last accomplishment that I feel I was able to do in Q1 was hit 3,000 subscribers on me and Michael's couples channel on YouTube. That was such a big accomplishment for us because, you know, like I said, we got monetized within the first month of us starting the channel. And I want to say we've had our channel for maybe about a year now. And so to be able to hit 3,000, and we're not even like really consistent over there either. We normally post like maybe once a week or sometimes once every other week. But for the most part, it's almost like we're learning about what direction we want to go in that channel. And we see like even when we're not posting, we're consistently getting new people subscribing to our channel. We're consistently getting new people watching our older videos and our newer videos. So that is really, really great that we're still growing and that we hit 3,000 subscribers on that channel. So that wraps up my Q1 business goals. And because this video is already kind of long, I don't want to have like a super long video, but I want to quickly go over what my personal goals were and if I hit those, and then I'll wrap up the video. So one of my personal goals was to read 1 hour every day, at least for 5 days. And I can say that honestly, I started off really good with this. I have slowed down a little bit, but for the most part, I'm reading for at least 1 hour a day for at least 3 to 4 days out of the week. It just depends on what all is going on. Sometimes I have to take a reading break to just digest everything that I've read. So I feel like it had a lot to do with that as well, why I wasn't doing it for 5 days. But for the most part, I have been making the time to read for 1 hour a day. Another personal accomplishment that I have did in Q1 was I started going back to Elevation Church. So I had backslid, y'all. It was a while, like years since I had been to church. And I don't know if I feel like I did a video on this on my couples channel, but I was really struggling with my faith at one point and really just, just not doing anything in that area of my life. And in January, I was able to restore my relationship with God. We went to Elevation, and now it has become a very big part of our life in reference to just pursuing God and just being better in that area in general, and just really being intentional about going to church. Now, we do not go to church every week, I'm not gonna lie, but we are very big on making sure that we watch the sermons if we don't make it to church, and just really refilling our cup in reference to learning more about God, reading the Bible, just filling each other up when we are low in our spirit, spiritually, just things like that. So I think that is a huge accomplishment, because it goes to show when that area is lacking, you'll start spinning your wheels in areas that God can help you in. And I really feel like there are certain things that I was not able to accomplish or not able to figure out because God was waiting on me to come back to Him so that He could kind of take some things off of my plate. So I'm really, really happy that I was able to restore my relationship and start by going to church. And the last thing I want to mention in reference to my personal accomplishments, I was able to reread the book, We Should All Be Millionaires. I absolutely love this book. I give this book to all of my clients whenever they book with me, because I feel that every woman entrepreneur, every woman in general, even if you're like in a career or work a traditional 9-to-5, every woman needs to read this, We Should All Be Millionaires. This book was able to help me stop playing small, stop thinking small, and think bigger, because I deserve the things that I subconsciously feel like I'm not worthy of. And it helps you kind of get out of your own, negative mental thinking and just all different types of things. I absolutely recommend you get that book as well. I feel like there's a lot of links and stuff dropped in this video, but I'm definitely going to drop the link to the We Should All Be Millionaires book by Rachel Rodgers. I had read it one time, I want to say at the end of last year. It was recommended to me, and it was so good that I had to reread it again for first quarter, because like I said at the beginning of this video, I have some really big goals this year. And I am very determined and committed to making sure that I am able to hit the things that I want to hit this year and experience the life and the lifestyle that I want to experience this year with me and my family. So I do not have time to play small this year. I feel like I've played small in the previous years with being fearful of what I can do or what I can't do, and just woe is me, and I'm just not playing that this year. I'm not. That's another reason why I'm being very, very committed to YouTube, because I should have been, doing YouTube, and I have other YouTube channels from like 6 years ago, and I just have never been completely committed to it. And I know that YouTube is my key to getting me where I want to get. And so I just have to stay committed to the process. And it's a marathon. It's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight. And I'm already mentally okay with that. I know I'm not worried about how many views each video gets. I'm not worried about, the slow progress, because once it does take off, the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears are going to pay off in the future for me, my business, my family, and things like that. So I really needed a powerful book like We Should All Be Millionaires to just keep me okay up here in all areas of my business. So I'm gonna stop talking, y'all, because I feel like this video is a lot of talking. And now that I've wrapped up the quarter one, I'm going to create another video on what my quarter two goals are. So if you're interested in learning about what I'm wanting to accomplish for quarter two, then make sure you look at that video. If you made it to this far in the video, then you are the real MVP. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you hit subscribe if you haven't already so that you can get more business tips and more videos like this from my channel. But until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.